Hello, hello, hello. It's another interesting segment with Toastmaster Leah joining CoachBusi on Toast Talks. Today we are having a conversation with a Toastmaster all the way from Gaborone. Lots of sunshine, lots of heat, and I pray and hope that Toastmaster Leah is bringing some of that Southern African desert heat onto Toast Talks with Coach Busi. Hello, Toastmaster Leah, and welcome. How are you today?
Hello. I am actually cold because the heat hasn't yet come. We are facing winter right now. So I'm just wishing for the summer to come because I'm not enjoying the winter at all. We've had all these cold fronts and I am not happy. But
Oh,
otherwise, I'm okay.
I love that. Eh, you see, seasons change even in sunny Botswana. The very warm cardigan should have been an indicator for me, but I can tell you Botswana always carry warmth. Not just Botswana. I know that now you're adopted home, but I consider you, one of the locals in Botswana. Toastmaster Leah, you are a Toastmaster. I am interested, and I hear the listeners also asking. There is a Toastmasters club in Gaborone. This is right in the southern part of Africa. They have Toastmasters too. I bet you some of my listeners are going to look on the map to see where Botswana is situated. However, how did you become a Toastmaster?
For me, a friend of mine at the beginning of the year just came and asked me, "Hi, Leah, how many books did you read?" And she kept on asking me about my reading goal from the previous year. And I was
Mhm,
wondering, why is she asking me all this question and trying to get all this information? And then
mm,
the next day she said, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to be giving a speech about how your reading goal inspired me, and it's happening at this Toastmasters meeting. You're free to come and just see what I'll be talking about." So I was intrigued and I said, "Okay, let me go and see what she's going to be talking about based on all these questions she was asking me." So
right?
I went to this the Toastmasters meeting. I'd heard about it, but I didn't know what it was all about. So I thought if she's going to be there, let me also go and just hear what she's going to be talking about based on what I had shared with her. And I got there, I saw people presenting, giving speeches with so much confidence. I thought, wow, this is amazing. I wish I could talk like that. And that just made me realize I think I had found a place that could
Yeah.
definitely help me to be able to speak more eloquently, to be able to gather my thoughts a bit better. Because I always felt like whenever I have to stand up and present, that my thoughts were very jumbled in my head. And at the end, I would sit
Mm-hmm.
down and just think, "Ooh, what did I say? Did it make any sense?" Because it just felt so jumbled. So I thought, wow, this would be a
Right.
good place for me to practice.
Amazing. So, how many meetings did you attend before you made the decision to join?
That one meeting sold it for me.
Yes.
I was ready.
Oh my goodness. Now, it's interesting that I didn't know that was your story. But one of the things that I was going to ask you was what place have you been to that inspired a story which you used in a speech? But now it is reversed. Your friend was inspired by you to use your content in a speech. How awesome is that? I absolutely love it. Is your friend still a Toastmaster?
Unfortunately, not, as they say. People come and go. So sometimes you feel like you have achieved the goal that you wanted in
Mm-hmm.
Toastmasters and you decide to move on, which we all understand happens. Then other people see the other things they want to achieve and do, and they stay. And I guess I'm one of those people who has stayed beyond that particular time. But in reference to your question, to say I like to travel a lot in Southern Africa and beyond. So definitely through my travels, there's many interesting stories that always inspire me, that make me then bring it back and maybe want to share that particular aspect in my speech, whether it's me missing my flight because I totally forgot. So then those are things I will end up talking about maybe in one or two of my speech or even in a table topic session about maybe eating something I didn't want to eat because I'm in Mozambique and I'm not a fan of prawns. So yeah, many different places definitely have inspired me to actually then present in my speeches.
I love that. Can you share a fun moment or an embarrassing moment in your early days as a Toastmaster? Because I know when we get into Toastmasters and you hear all the protocols and the way the language for Toastmasters, Madam President, over to you, Madam SAA. It's very organized and very hoity-toity that you may find yourself going, oh, am I going to get all these things right? I had a couple of oops, bleeps, and blunders. But do you have a fun story or some moments in your early days? Because I want to speak to someone who is thinking of joining Toastmasters and is having the same thoughts I used to have. So you go.
And definitely, I remember, I think when I presented my second speech, obviously coming into the Toastmasters world, you always, there's one of the rules, which is the R and R counter. And you'll be thinking, why are you making notes? So I repeated this particular word. Is that a bad thing? So just having to come to terms, like once the R counter um, gave the report, I literally went up to the person and said, excuse me, but what's wrong with what I did? Like, so I repeated those words. Is that a bad thing? It's not like I was saying uhs and ums. I get that, but repetition of words, that happens in English language. You do sometimes repeat words. I don't think that's a problem. And the person tried to, explain, no, you see, you shouldn't be repeating words because it shows that maybe you didn't think so much about your sentence structure. But I thought, okay, fine, I'll just accept it and I'll see how I'll move on from that.
You didn't like it. I can tell. You were like, I will accept it, but I'm not going to like it. I really don't like it. I can tell.
Yeah.
Looking back now, don't you find that so funny? Now that you've elevated your speech and your game.
Yes, because now I'm the one judging people when even in any other circumstances, if someone is presenting or anything, I'll be like, oh, so many R's, oh, repetition of words, oh.
I know.
I now become the grammar police.
That, exactly. You're the account and the grammarian. You're like, repetition? That's the crutch word. I hear your crutch word, you know?
True. Very true.
So that is awesome. Do you have a memorable speech that you gave and you know you nailed it? There's some of those speeches that you give and you're like, wow, I know I have moved. This is not where I was. Sometimes it happens with the third speech. I've seen people who move so quickly from the icebreaker. The difference between their icebreaker and their third speech is like night and day. And then some of us take a little bit longer to really polish. And half the time is because if you're a good speaker, before you come to Toastmasters is the bad habits that you're used to. I'm saying all this so that you can have your mind, you can have your story ready so that when I say so, which speech, Toastmaster Leya, is memorable for you, where you know that this speech was it?
I think I see him using us. Having been in Toastmasters and given so many speeches, because I've done quite a couple of pathways,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's so many, to me, so many speeches that I've given. Some of them are very, like you're sharing something very personal, very emotional to you. But I, I, I think one speech, which I actually gave recently, because I
Mm-hmm.
had been sitting and thinking about it and going over it in my head and just trying to think of what is it I'm trying to convey. So
Right.
it's the speech title is called White Flag. So basically trying to remind you, don't give up, don't surrender, hardships, and don't be the type of don't quickly raise your white flag, continue the fight. So to me, that's a more recent speech I gave, which I thought really impacted the people that I shared it with, such that
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 3 weeks later someone was actually talking about it and saying, because I even had a physical uh representation of it, and they were actually saying,
Yes,
I still remember Leah's white flag. I'm trying to tell myself, don't give up, don't throw up your white flag yet.
that's
So,
it.
so yeah, for me, because I really sat down and thought about that for quite a long time and how I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to share it. And it was me starting a new pathway. So that was sort of like an icebreaker speech that I was sharing with the group.
Awesome.
So yeah, that
Awesome.
one is in terms of more recent for me, that really strikes me.
That is awesome. You see, just the concept that you've given, I haven't listened to the speech, but I'm hearing this concept of don't give up too soon. I can see that white flag in your hand. And this is the beauty of Toastmasters and the way we use words. So again, when you look at speech titles, they also start communicating right from the beginning. So thank you for that white flag speech. They are an absolute plethora of messages that I have listened to that have changed the way I look at things, the way I view things, and it's in those meetings where we're getting education for life, as it were. When you look at the Toastmaster world, Toastmaster Leya, who is your rock star Toastmaster? Which Toastmaster do you look at and you sort of go, oh, thank you. You are absolutely amazing. Toastmasters has a lot of cheerleading, a lot of acknowledging people who have done exceptional things. And one of the heartbeats of Toast Talks with Coach Busi is for us to know the other Toastmasters that I may have missed, because this is a really big world when you talk of Toastmasters. Shout out to your rock star Toastmaster. Go for it.
Oh wow, that's a it's very difficult to remember all the people. But for me, one of the seasons I love most in Toastmasters is the speech contest season. You get to hear so many inspiring speeches and get to discover so many interesting speakers telling
Mm-hmm.
different types of stories. I know, like our current international speech contest winner, Gary Chettinger. I always find his stories very interesting. Um, and the messages that he's trying to convey, it seems like it's
Mm-hmm.
something that's very universal. I really enjoy his speeches. I think, yeah, I'm trying to remember all the other people, like our former club president, that was Wame Namponya. She used to give very interesting speeches. I found them quite um, inspiring when she
Mm.
would definitely present. Um, I'm trying to remember who else because there are just so many in my head, and now just to
They are
put
so
the
many.
the names. Um, so I think even in my club, one of our club members,
Mhm.
Lame Tetwa, so she also, um, as- I sometimes get shocked when she does present. I'm like, oh wow, is this her presenting? Like, this is very interesting. Like, I didn't expect
Right?
this to come from her. So, and recently we had a new member who joined our club. It took him a very long time to actually present his first speech, I think almost like 9 months. And
Oh,
when he
that dreaded
finally came,
icebreaker.
I was so shocked. And when he finally came out, and presented, I was like, wow, he is really good. I don't know why he feels like he can't speak, but when he does actually sit and actually
Mhm.
present, I felt like his story was so compelling. It's something that people can definitely identify with. And I thought his speech was so good that I even recommended him to present his speech at our division contest as the speech to be evaluated, because I thought this is a good speech. It's got so many different elements. I think it would be a good speech to be evaluated. So his name is Siamo, and
Mhm.
yeah,
That
I
is
think if I sat down to think about it, yeah, quite a couple of people I've
that's
heard.
awesome. I love the way that you've given an elementary speaker, as it were, because he was doing his first icebreaker, his first speech, which is the icebreaker, right at hello in his Toastmasters journey. And then you've got the world's contest winner, the international speech winner. That is amazing that you have heroes in both aspects, right at the top of their game and right at hello. And that is the beauty of Toastmasters, that everywhere from Genesis to Revelation, there is a place for somebody to come and up their speaking game, up their confidence game, get leadership skills. That's one thing that we don't speak a lot about in Toastmasters or to the people who are coming, because we also don't want to overwhelm people. And this is why we have these stories that people can say, huh, everybody who's ever invited me to Toastmasters has only talked about public speaking. They've never talked about transferable skills when you take on roles. If my memory serves me right, you are serving in district, and that's why you have a blue background. Everyone's serving in district because I absolutely honor the service that comes from district. You have a blue background. You are in a district role. What role are you currently running with? And what are the transferable skills that you are gaining as you serve in Toastmasters?
So currently, I am serving as the logistics manager in District 74. And obviously, I undertook this role because I just wanted to learn a little bit about what happens at the district level, having
Mm-hmm.
previously served as a division director. I just wanted to find out what now happens in the cabinet. The people who are making the decisions or
Yeah,
trying to steer the district to become medley distinguished as the goal that
yeah.
we all want to achieve. And in terms of the skills that you get to pick up, that you can obviously, like you're saying, transferable skills. One of the things I recently had to do, and my apologies, I'm not the most tech savvy person. I always tell people until I joined Toastmasters, you needed a magnifying glass to see my digital footprint because I was not into social media or anything. So I recently had to learn how to when it to stream to YouTube. And that was something that I've never done, never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on YouTube just to watch videos. I'm not a
Right?
content creator,
That other
but
people
you
have put.
Yeah, so you always hear people saying, "Oh, content creators, what." So that's I'm actually happy that that's something that I was able to learn because our district director just said, "Hi, Leah, I would like you to do this thing," and I was like, "Okay, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out."
I'll figure it
And I
out.
was I was able to figure it out, even though I didn't realize, even though I stopped the recording in the Zoom call, I need to go to also stop the streaming on YouTube. So we had like almost 10 extra minutes where we were busy chatting and it's all going live. But I like Toastmasters. This is a place where we get to learn. And obviously, as a logistics manager, I'm here to support my district director. So anything that deals with logistics regarding the cabinet, I'm the person who's helping with that. So obviously then that also helps me in other things that I do outside of Toastmasters in terms of logistics, just making sure things are done. And it can be a little bit overwhelming, but I like Toastmasters, it's a safe space.
It
No one
is.
shouts at you if you make a mistake. They just say, okay, you came to learn, you have learned. Next time you do it better.
And once you learn and you do it better, the beauty of it is you teach the next person.
Very true.
So we are all learning and elevating our game and moving towards a better version of ourselves. Please speak to that person, Leah, if you would, who really doesn't understand what the rave is. Who is this CoachBusi? She is now on episode number whatever of 100 podcasts that she has promised us, and they are all going on about Toastmasters. She's going to interview 100 people, and she says that's the minimum. Why does she get paid to do this? And these people who give up their evenings, who give up their times, wake up at odd times to make sure the time zones match. Why do we do this? Toastmaster Leah, speak to the person. Give them the reason why we do what we do and why we are still saying there is room in the ark. No, I mean in Toastmasters. That's my other passion. Those who know about the ark know about the ark. Why is there room in Toastmasters? Why do we want them to come in? Why are we passionate about Toastmasters? Over to you.
Thank you so much. Like I said, for me, I joined because I saw a place where I could learn to speak and gather my thoughts together. Because at the time when I joined, which was about 4 years ago, so the club I joined is Gaborone Toastmasters Club, and I was
Woo! Shout out to Gaborone Toastmasters Club.
yes, Gaborone Toastmasters Club. So we at that time I was serving as the treasurer at my local church. And of course, there were times I had to stand up, present the QGM reports, the AGM reports,
Mm-hmm.
and it always felt like I wasn't doing a good job. So I felt like this would be a place that would help me definitely to be able to learn the skills, even handling a difficult audience. Anytime you have to deal with money issues, that's the time
Mm-hmm.
people listen and they now want to ask
Mm-hmm.
you 101 questions as to
Yes.
why is the money spent like this, type of thing. So
Right.
there are projects in Toastmasters that help you to practice that. So I that's one of the things I found so interesting, that different projects that one can undertake that can help you to practice these skills so that when you do go out in the real world, at least you have learned how to handle a difficult audience. You have learned how to give an extended speech, like a keynote type of
Mm-hmm.
speech, so
Yes.
you know how to structure your speech. You've learned how to handle a panel discussion because you have
Yes.
practiced it in Toastmasters. So when you go out there, you know exactly what to say and how to handle your panel. But of course, the thing that keeps me still here is because you realize there's more that you can learn. And that's how I end up
Hallelujah.
undertaking different roles, moving on to say, okay, let me become an area director, see how it is to oversee a certain number of clubs. Let me become a division director to oversee a much larger group of clubs. And then
Mhm.
obviously like saying, okay, let me take up the logistics manager, be part of the cabinet, because I
Cabinet.
always felt like the cabinet was something so scary. Like I couldn't undertake any of those roles. And
Mm-hmm.
just being there makes me realize, okay, this is not very scary. I'm with these people, and these people are able to do this. But obviously, you just have to find time for it. The same way we make time for things that we find value in them, you
Yes.
just carve out that time to say, okay, maybe I can spend maybe 2 hours a week on
Mm-hmm.
Toastmasters, and that can be sufficient. But I love it because you're always working with the team, especially if
Yes.
you're in any leadership position. So you're not
Teamwork.
doing it alone. And even before that, the fact that you have other people who you're moving along the journey with, they also inspire you to say, let's go visit clubs, let's attend this. So yeah, like I say, in the end, it's just making sure this is what I'm passionate about, this is something I want to do, and you just create the time to ensure that you do it.
Awesome. And I hear in what you said, know your why. Because as you were speaking, I could see the development that you were walking through. You're taking one leadership role, maybe at club level, then area, then division, and now you're in the mighty cabinet. And that is exciting. There is something about walking the corridors of power, and it's not the power trip per such, but being able to have an impact and contribute meaningfully towards other people's goals and greatness as you serve. Respect, integrity, service, and excellence, our values for Toastmasters. When you are serving in all those levels, you just get to be a part of those values in a very practical way. Thank you, Toastmaster Leah, for your time today. Thank you for having said yes to coming to speak to the dear listeners to Toast Talk with Coach Busi. I really appreciate you. I pray that soon the sun will be shining in Gaborone, Botswana. And you see, I do know how to say Gaborone, not Gaborone. I do know how to say Gaborone. Thank you for your time. We will be watching your growth as you continue to pursue roles and challenging yourself. There is one question that is coming to remembrance that I didn't ask. You said you've done several pathways. Can you briefly tell me which ones and how many?
This is the part I always feel like that emoji where the hands are covered on the face, because when I tell
Yes.
people, it's like, I think the last time I was counting, I think I've done 5. That's why I say I need that emoji with the hands.
5 pathways, Toastmaster Leah. Oh my goodness, I did not know that. 5 pathways.
It's because of online. It really opened up where you could attend meetings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, can finish a level in a week.
And be growing in a week. I mean, the amount of growth, the amount of information. Wow. Do you know the guests that I am having on this podcast continue to challenge me? I have people with 7 DTMs. Now you're telling me you have 5 pathways. Another had 3 DTMs. I've had district directors of 14 years. I had somebody who's been in Toastmasters for 40 years. If you don't know who you are and why you're a Toastmaster, you could easily be intimidated. But when you know who you are, you get challenged, you get excited, and I get to celebrate heroes like you. Oh, Leah, my level of respect has just gone to another level. You are awesome. Absolutely awesome. Well, congratulations on your 5. I have a feeling that you probably will finish. Is it 11 now? How many pathways do we have now?
Well, now they've been reduced to 6. So there is one like effective coaching. I wanted to do that. So I made sure I bought that before they eliminated it. So yeah.
Right, right. Well, at least they've made it easier for some of us. So now I know I can do all 6 and I can say I'm done. So, but
And
kudos
start
to
them over
you.
again.
Awesome. And the thing with effective coaching, I know you're going to love it. That was my first pathway, and boy, was I excited. Still am. I still go back and check and say, okay, what is my style? It's amazing. You're going to enjoy it. Let's have a chat after you started on that one. Thank you so
Oh,
much, Toastmaster Leah. I really appreciate your time. I thank you for speaking to the listeners and for challenging me again, like almost every other Toastmaster who comes here does. Enjoy the rest of your evening as I wrap into my afternoon. Take care, and we will see you in these corridors as we meet in Toastmaster Street. Over
all
and out.
right.